Mr. Millionaires, and I've been joined by the chairman, board for technical and vocational education in the state. He is also a former majority leader during the when the second executive governor of the state, and that is our powerful youth government. He was the majority leader, and I'm talking about none other than Honorable Kadi Babadi. He will come on the program.
Thank you, the moderator, and thank you, our listeners at home.
Let me also say that we're live on Facebook as well. You can join us from any part of the world on Facebook to be part of the program. And you can also listen via apps. That is, you can download it from the Google Play Store if you don't already have it. Let's begin about post-election issues. Then we'll talk about your board and some other issues around the incoming Biodo Abami Banji administration. Let's begin from the factors that you think were responsible for that change in the team.
Thank you very much. It was a victory well deserved by the All Progressives Congress and our candidate, His Excellency Biodun Abayomi Ibanji. We worked for it. We campaigned throughout the length and breadth of Ekiti State.
You were in charge of contract and mobilization,
Yes,
so you would know.
I know. Now, we changed our strategy. We didn't follow the old pattern of carrying people from one local government to the other,
doing political jamboree.
But we went on political evangelism, making contact with groups, making contact with communities, making contacts with societies, and all the rest. My brother, we have 2,445 polling units in Ekiti State. We have 322 of these polling units in farmsteads. And we constituted a team that was going from one farmstead to the other. And I want to tell you, throughout the period of the campaign, we didn't come across any of the political parties in Ekiti State moving along with us in the farmsteads. 322 spaces were open for us. They were not contending the votes there with us.
To tap into.
At all.
With nobody reaching out to those people.
And when we get there, we have a team. The team will ask, what's your problem in this farmstead? Some people will say, the road linking us to the next place is not good enough. We'll bring a grader, grade the road for them. At a point, we had 5 graders working in all these farmsteads. At times, they will say, the roof of their market is off. We'll raise money. Go and put it there. Fix it. A lot of other problems. Some of them will say our borehole that was dug by either Watson or one organization or the other is no longer working. We will look into it and make it effective. And so these were our strategies that we were reaching community by community. We were reaching from polling unit by polling unit. In all the 2,445 polling units in Ekiti, we had unit executives. In fact, at a point in my own ward and in the Ikere local government, we stopped ward meetings. Go and work in your polling unit. It is the polling unit.
That's where the real voters
That
are.
is the registration area. And so go and register, go and mobilize people in your unit. SDP does not have ward executive. It's a third force, a 2-month-old baby wanted to run. Is it possible? The answer is no. We had 2,445 unit chairmen, unit secretaries, who are working with leaders of the party in the various units. And so, how do you think we will not be more effective than them? They do not even have a state executive. They were putting in a caretaker committee so that there will be something. They were just coming in to do elections. They were not doing party engineering. And so, if we were campaigning in 2,445 units, 322 of those units are in the farm states, and we were unchallenged because nobody was going there
Was reaching out to those
to them. We were reaching out, solving their problems. Why would they not vote for us? And so these are our strategies. We had over 265 support groups who are using their own money to mobilize people because they believe in our party, they believe in our candidate. You have ETAG, Ekiti Teachers Group. Under the teachers group, we had over 14. Those of us in the education family brought all of them together under one umbrella and said, no, let's deal with teachers as a bunch, not group A, group B, C, you are teachers in Ekiti. We brought them under one umbrella. Christians in Ekiti, for Bao, a lot of support groups, and they were working on their
and
own.
even the young people.
The young people, the youths, a lot of them. Look at all the billboards we have all over the place, advertising our party, advertising our candidate, and it was not Biodu Abayomi Yemanji that was doing all the billboards. People were doing it for him. I did too. One in Ado, one in Ekiti. On my own volition, because I believe in his candidacy, and I believe in this political party where I belong as of now.
Now, for the very first time, a lot of people were expecting the elections to be a close call. And then we saw where the next candidate to Oyebanji in that election, Oyebanji scored, led with over 100,000 votes.
105,000.
A lot of people were not expecting that. Was that as a result of what you just described now, your organic campaign, or something else? What do you think was responsible for that?
It is as a result of hard work, and we ascribe all the glory to God. But it is hard work, and that's what I have explained to you. When 322 farm states, they were not going there. They don't even have the manpower to cover all these places. In 2,445 wards were being coordinated. In each of the wards, we had in each of the units, we had 4 canvassers that were mobilized to keep talking to people. When they didn't see us on the streets, carrying people from Ise to Imre to Chukwari to Ekporo and things like that, they thought we were not working. They said APC is not campaigning. APC. We went underground and we were doing, for the first time, we changed tactics. And that is why they were caught unawares. And so by the time we now came out and said, oh, finally, on that fateful Tuesday, the chairman of the party, our presidential candidate, 14 governors, people came, mobilized. And so we knew we were prepared for that election. And so the following day, SDP or whatever came on board and said, oh, the same venue. The Yoruba will say, oh, Ruko si Somani, Ruko si Sajani, Kotan Yarani, that you call your dog lucky. Does not mean you're going to be lucky. And so now you want to use our venue. Will that bring the people or the victory? The answer is no. PDP did not even do a final campaign. Their presidential candidate did not even come to those states. None to Ekiti State, sorry. None of their governors. We didn't see them to come and campaign for their candidate. And so the people thought they were dead. And so that is why SDP was able to move a little faster than them, because we thought the PDP would come second. But PDP slept off. Their national body probably has written off the Ekiti State chapter. Probably they were not interested. How will their presidential candidate not come and campaign for his party? Our own presidential candidate, Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was in Ekiti physically. He campaigned for us. Our national chairman was there. Our national secretary was there. 14 governors were there. A lot of deputy governors were there. The national ESCO of our party, they were residents in Ekiti for that period. And the national chairman of our campaign council, Governor Bagudu of Kebbi State, was seated in Ekiti, monitoring what is happening. The chairman of the election committee the governor of Jigawa, Governor Badaru, was in Ekiti, you know. And so we meant business and we went out for it. And so whatever has happened, as far as that victory is concerned, by the grace of God, is as a result of hard work. That is number one. Number two, you see, we have been campaigning victory. I mean, we have been saying there should be continuity. That it has been the thing in Ekiti that one turn by turn thing.
From party to party.
From party to party, yeah. But we said no, it should stop. We could see the level of development in Lagos State being ruled by one party since we returned to democracy. 1999 up to today. They changed ADS, AC, ACN, APC. It is still the conservative, the progressives. Okay, now we said Dr. Fayemi has done enough to showcase. We can showcase a lot of things he has done. That should be continued. We have Fayemi stores. Let Biodo Abayomi Manji take off from there. And so we were able to showcase the good works Dr. Fayemi did in the education industry, in public infrastructure, in human capital development, in a lot of areas. Bringing in development partners, 1,000 kilometers of rural roads have been done, water projects have been done, development in the technical education board is going on, and a whole lot of achievements. We said another governor can come and say, I don't want this. It happened. Look at the creation of the LCDAs. When during the first term of Dr. Fayemi, he created the LCDAs. Even before Fayemi was sworn, he had started crying. He had started telling the people, no, there is no money. There is no money. And when he got there, he abrogated the LCDAs. Let me tell you this, and the listening public, that I am not sure anybody in the local government service system in Ekiti voted for that party. Because they all called themselves and said, well, this LCDA has made them to move from one point to the other. Somebody who was probably a level 14 officer elsewhere and was under an organ, because the thing moved from 16 to 35. A lot of them got promoted, moved up, and they were motivated. They all told us, they will not allow any governor who will come and abrogate this thing again, cancel it to come on board. All local government staff voted for us because of all these good programs Fayemi did to make sure the grassroots people benefited. And so that is another area where we secured our victory, the issue of campaign of continuity. And since people saw that there is no local government, Dr. Fayemi will not be able to point to something he has done. And so we showed them all this. And they said, okay, let somebody who has been working with it. Oyebanji worked with Otumba Adeni Adebayo. He learned the ropes there. First time of Dr. Fayemi, he worked with it. Second time, he became SSG. He's been in the system. He understands the system. And so, throughout the second term of Dr. Fayemi, up to this money, Dr. Fayemi is not owing staff salary. If staff is being owed, it is the backlog left by Fayoshe. But from October 2018 to today, they were taking their salary as I went due. And Oyebanji was part of the system. So where will he say he has learned coming into office and be owing salary? That is the first charge on whatever we take from Abuja, pay staff salary. Because the staff salary, workers' salary, has a kind of economic multiplier effect on the people of Ekiti. Ekiti is a civil service state. We don't have industries. And so when money is not coming from the civil servants to the market women, to the laborers, to the bricklayers, to the carpenters, wealth is not changing hands. And so it's not spreading. These are all things we were able to convince Ekiti people, and they all came out and voted for us.
Now, let's mention another post-election issue. After that election, not a few people, even from Ekiti State, we've read in newspapers as well, and organizations have said that vote buying was a thing in that election, not just APC, and the major political parties uh, doled out money to voters. Uh, and, after that, some people have said that the election went to the highest bidder. That the APC on election day was the highest bidder. What's your take on this?
Well, that is strange to me. The issue of vote buying is a strange word in our own vocabulary. I have told you the success, I mean, the secret.
Because I've had people who said
the
that
secret,
victory was that the only thing responsible for that victory was vote buying, and that because the APC was the highest bidder in that election.
I'm happy that you are from Ekiti. Ekiti State people are not gullible. They have they are well educated. They are people of integrity. They know their onions. They know who they want and what they want. They have spoken. They have said they need APC to continue, and His Excellency Bioda Abayome Oyebanji to be their governor. Forget about vote buying. We didn't buy votes. We won't know whether it's SDP or PDP or ADC, whatever, are buying votes. I have told you the secret of our victory in those elections. You can't fold your arms or just come on board in 2 months. A 2-month old baby cannot run, cannot even crop, talk less of running. If the SDP came on board under 2 months, and they think third force will work in a place like Ekiti under 2 months. I have told them when we were at the final collation, because I was the state agent.
Yes, I learned that you were the state.
Yes, I was the state collation agent. I told one of my friends who was the state collation agent of SDP, I said, go and nurture your party for the next 8 years. Then you can come out for election. Don't nurture a party for 2 months, and then you think you are coming to win. You think you are dealing with fools? The answer is no. Yeah, Engineer Shegun has been governor before. Good. There's nothing wrong in that. He has come again to test his popularity, and the Ekiti State people have said, no, we don't want you again. And so, go and nurture your party. We have been nurturing this party.
So you think the people really did not want him, or it was money that swayed their votes?
How could money sway 105,000 difference? It is, we don't want you. There is no other language. We don't want you. We want a younger person. We want a younger person. BCK, my friend, we are colleagues. We are almost of the same age bracket. And you said when he was my boss.
Or you served in his
Yes, I was commissioner. We both went to the
Commissioner for Education, right?
Yes, and then I was commissioner for lands. We both went to the Southwest. He was chairman of the PDP. We were both in PDP that time, and I was publicity secretary of PDP at that time too. Right. And so we both left PDP for APC. At the point, he said he was going back to PDP.
You didn't go back with him?
No. I'm not ready. I'm not going. I'm not leaving this party. I said, okay. That's all. So I remain in my party and continue to promote the interest of this party. So that the people of Ekiti have spoken. They have spoken loud.
But talking about it, away from Ekiti, let's talk generally now.
Okay.
Talking about vote buying. Gradually, vote buying crept into Nigeria's electoral lexicon, and it has become a thing. How do you think, I'm not talking about it now, how do you think that can be eradicated from our lexicon, electoral lexicon?
Well,
is there anything that can be done to effectively stamp it out, or even gradually stamp it out?
Well, all I know is good performance. Is it good performance of an incumbent governor or an outgoing governor? There's a lot about his party. Fauci back in 2014 to defeat Dr. Fayemi was an incumbent. That is when we joined APC. He came back and gave us 16-0. But we know there were some other gimmicks, militarizing the election, harassing people, and things like that. But thank God, INEC has been able to put in some technology into the electioneering system that has curbed seriously the issue of ballot stuffing, ballot snatching. You snatch ballot, that is the end of that unit. That's all. You can't carry it. We put ballot papers and then bring it back and they will count it for you.
They can't be done.
It's not, nobody can do that again. And so the technology will continue to advance. And, in America, nobody, they don't vote in one day. People, they will start, presidential election starts today. The next 1 week, people move in there, vote, no problem, no police that is harassing you and things like that. And so when the system is refined, so many things will be in place. And during my interview, after the declaration of the governor-elect, yes, I gave kudos to INEC for a job well done. They did a very good job over and above what they did in 2014, 2015, 2018. They are improving by the day. And so let us see what will happen again in 2023. Add technology into what we are doing.
But do you not see a connection between the people's economic capability and vote buying?
But what is all these hues and cries about vote buying?
No, we're talking generally. In Nigeria, do you not see? I'm asking if in Nigeria you don't see a connection between people's economic capability and vote buying, whether because people are economically, whether people are poor, whether I ask a connection with vote buying.
Well, as far as I know and as far as I'm concerned, the issue of vote buying is relative. If you are buying votes, you might want to see whether it has a connection. But our party were not involved. And so it is not, even if you go to other sectors of the economy, you might want to look at the purchasing power of an average Nigerian.
That's part of what I'm saying.
Okay. It's not all about
power, even the buying power of Naira.
It's not all about elections alone. If you look at the purchasing power of an average Nigerian, you will discover that our income per capita, our per capita income per head, as compared with advanced democracies, is very low. No doubt about that. And the value of the Naira is
Naira's buying power is going down.
It's going down. There's no doubt. And when such happens, it reduces the purchasing power of the people. What you have 10,000 to buy 5 years ago, you can buy it now. But the fact still remains. That is why government will come, government will go, and strategies will change. And that is why we must make sure we put people who understands the terrain, who understands the terrain into elective offices, so that having had experiences in the past, they will be able to bring it into play and make sure things get better for the citizenry. For example, I want to say without iota of doubt that Ashwaju Ahmed Tinubu, who is the presidential candidate of our party, having been governor for 8 years, having seen what he has done in Lagos State, has turned the fortune of that state around till tomorrow, then that kind of a person, if you give him the opportunity, he will turn around the fortune of Nigeria.
Presidential don't allow NBC to sanction about. Okay, now talking about Oyeba, you can describe Oyeba as somebody bred in Ekiti.
Yeah.
He went to school there. He went to Ondo State University,
Yes.
Now known as Ekiti State University.
Yeah.
He lectured there. And he has been in government, like you said. He was chief of staff to me at about maybe at 36 or thereabout.
Yeah.
Was commissioner for
Budget.
economic planning, and then intergovernmental affairs under Fayemi, and then
Yeah.
SSG in this administration before he resigned to contest. Now, for somebody who grew up in Ekiti, who has always been around in Ekiti, what do you think Ekiti people should expect with Oyebanji being a governor?
You see, somebody asked me a question when Oyebanji won the primary. So probably while we were even working on the primary election, he said, well, we continue, but this man, they say, has not left Ekiti. He's been within Ekiti. And I told the person, that is our selling point. That is our selling point. Because he's been part of us. He understands all the nooks and crannies of it. He knows where the true pitches and things like that. That is our selling point. And that is why when we say, Baonio, Tiwa, it is our own homegrown. Because we are trying to, we in the political class, we are trying to discourage this a situation when money bags just come from nowhere and hijack the political machinery and then say, oh, we have one Senate, we have one, you are going to the House of Representatives, or you are going to the House of Assembly. Even over and above, people who have been at home, who have been mentoring people, who have been working for the party, because during elections, primary elections, they don't have money to throw around for people to drink beer and things like that, and they just get defeated. That is what we are trying to discourage. We don't just want somebody who just come aboard. So that's what this man who is homegrown, who is a kitty person to the core, who was part of the committee for the creation of Ekiti at that very tender age.
At 26.
Yes, we should give him a trial. And I want to assure the good people of Ekiti State, by the grace of God, Banji, Biodun, Oyebanji will not fail God, he will not fail Ekiti, and he will not fail himself. He understands it. He's been in governance in Ekiti, particularly for 11 years. And so he should be able to bring his experience into bear in the administration of Ekiti. He knows who is who in Ekiti. He knows the brilliant ones in and outside Ekiti. He can assemble together and then form his cabinet and be able to deliver the dividends of democracy to Ekiti State people. He's quite very intelligent. He knows his onions. He knows what he wants. And he has a focus. He has a vision for Ekiti State. He has espoused his manifesto for Ekiti people to, and he has promised at various fora that he will stand by the manifesto and creating employment for the youths, and capital development, infrastructure, and and so he understands that he did not go out of Ekiti or go to Japan or go to, does not mean he has been in government. He has been the center of a government. That is the government of GKF, John Kayode Fayemi. The secretary is the soul of any organization. So he's been. And so he knows all the various development partners that Dr. Fayemi has been relating with. For example, my board is a beneficiary of a development partner, and work have started. The World Bank has approved the rehabilitation of 3 more technical colleges in it. They have done that of Ado to a world standard level. And having seen what we have been able to do with World Bank money, which they call proof of concept. Proof of concept. They said, okay, if it is state, we know you can use our money very well. Take 3 others. And they have allocated 1 billion naira to each of the technical colleges for infrastructural development and equipment. And so, in another, luckily, the thing is coming up full-fledged in the course of Oyebanji's tenure, because the facility is for the grant is for 3 years. And so there are a lot of all these things he has learned the ropes from Kayode Fayemi. So he doesn't that he has been a homegrown person does not make him inferior to anybody. It makes him to understand his own people more. And what is governance all about? Governance is all about your people, knowing their challenges, addressing these challenges, and bringing to table dividends of democracy for them. You won't feel them.
Let's talk about character traits, which is very key when it comes to leadership. You worked with a governor who was accused of so many things when you were the majority leader. No need of mentioning names.
Yeah.
Now, I've had people who have said, and I've asked people this question within the APC in Ekiti State. So I'm asking you again, as somebody who has worked with Oyebanji, who was director of contract and mobilization for his campaign, they just concluded the election. Some people say it's snobbish and temperamental. Is that so?
Very wrong. It's a lie. Snobbish. Not. I have known the governor elect not on the platform of this political campaign. I have known him so many years ago, in and out of government. I have known him even when I was in PDP, or even when I have not even joined any political party. 1999, year 2000, I was not a member of any political party. I came into politics in 2001 and made a move to go into the House of Assembly in 2002, 2003, and I won my elections. And then retired from Ondo State Polytechnic, where I was lecturing. Right? Now, I have known him since that time, which is very close to 20 years now, and I have not seen him being snobbish or being temperamental. Rather, he's been very humble. Do you know that even when we started this campaign, during the primaries, if you address him, His Excellency, we say, no, don't address me, His Excellency. We are still struggling. Those of us who are in Christendom, who told him, don't say no. There is power in the tongue. And so if we say His Excellency, we are prophesying it to your life. Accept it. Do you know that there are a lot of times we are holding meetings, we prefer come through the back door. He doesn't want to come in through the front door and everybody stands up for him. No. I said, why are you doing all this? He said, am I governor? Right. You see, these are signs of humility. And I want to say over and over again, I have known him close to 20 years. He's not snobbish, he's not temperamental, but he's very intelligent, he's firm, he believes in a thing, he listens to people, and he respects elders. 1 million, even if he send a text message to me, he say, Ego, which is the Ekiti culture. Uh-huh. That's, that he has even been elected as governor. See, up till Thursday, we were in a meeting together. When he was shaking people, and I still got to me, I said, Ego, that was. He is that kind of a person that holds his elders in high esteem and respect them. And so, I want to say, two governors cannot be wrong. He worked with Adebayo. He worked with Fayemi first time, second time. If he's snobbish, he's temperamental, they will recommend him to it.
Right. Like I said, you've been part of you were part of the Fauci administration or the Oni administration, and now the Fayemi administration. You've served almost all the administrations. You served with almost all the administrations in the United States. What do you think is the different touch that Oyebanji will be bringing?
He will bring in grassroots development. It's not that other governors have not done that, but he will do it more. Grassroots development.
How does it intend to do that? What shape will it take?
Well, it takes so many forms. Open up all the lot of infrastructures at the grassroots level, which we have started already. That's what I told you. 322 farmsteads solving their problems, borehole problem, some road problem, putting in some temporary things and told them we are coming back. And so, what is it when you open up Ekiti is an agrarian state? When you open up the farmsteads, open up the villages, and they can connect the citizens with their produce and be able to sell and go back. He intends to dwell seriously in agriculture, encourage youths to dwell in agriculture, which is part of his strategy to reduce youth unemployment. And so many times he has asked me questions. How do we use the technical board to reduce youth unemployment? Which I have contributed immensely between the last 3 years.
That is part of my questions that I still going to ask.
Good.
But then go ahead.
Yeah. You see, the era of certificates. I have this certificate. That era is going gradually. We're not saying you cannot have a certificate. What we're saying is, can that certificate put food on your table? Go to the university and do psychology. Where do we start when you come out? Those days, we say, I teach Yoruba. Somebody who studies Yoruba can work in a bank, not the bank of today. That is why those banks failed the other time. People take chartered accountants, economists, people who did banking and finance. You know, when there are a lot of them, why should you go and take a Yoruba person who does not even know the difference between debit and credit, who cannot write a feasibility report? Right. And so, he wants to use technical education and add innovation into it and make sure that a lot of the youths imbibe technical and vocational education. The jobs are on the street, nobody to know it. You want to do POP before, you go to Togo and carry people.
Yeah, I think some people should do it.
Okay,
As
but
far as
today,
Togo to bring in
no,
boys from Togo.
I wanted to do POP somewhere in Ikere, one of my house. A young man came in and said he can do POP. We'll give you a trial. Start with the security. How? He did a wonderful job. Move to the house and do it for me. You know. And so, because there has been some skill gaps, Kylie was very strange to us some 10 years ago, some 15 years ago. And so, we want to encourage the youth. It's not certificate. You must be able to use your hand, your brain, and your heart. Your hand, your heart, and your head. And be able, and so he intends to really encourage the youth. And thank God for the world organizations of today. Look at what I told you the World Bank is trying to do. Last year, the UNDP approached my board. Can you train the youth for us in some skill areas? I said yes. We had an interactive session and they recruited 200 Ekiti youths. Take technical board, train these 200 youths because we have well-equipped workshops at Ado Government Technical College. And we trained them for 6 months in 9 trades. During the period of the training, UNDP was paying them 25,000 as stipend, and we gave them accommodation. It was like a partnership. At the end of the training, they were given kits, startup kits in each of their trade. The day they were distributing, I marveled. Because for a tailor, he will get a machine, industrial, get a table, get a generator. For a hairdresser, caterers were getting baking equipment and things like that, And so, if we invest massively in that area, that means we have taken 200 people. We are still expecting them to come again. If they are not coming, the state have seen a model that we can emulate to get a lot of our youths. It doesn't matter what you have read in the university. It's not the university that matters. It is, what can you get out of what you know? What can you get out of what you know? What can it put food on your table? That is the importance of work. Work you are doing is a way you have that cannot put start roaming the street or start riding Okada. A trade that has no future. Eh, but can my age now start riding Okada? And by the time you are feeling the cold on your chest, you start going to drink Okpahi and all this okokoro, and that one will kill your liver. You are on your way.
And the kidneys.
You move into the departure hall, no doubt.
All right, Honorable Kaode Babade. Now, apart from the young people, you know that in many households, some of the women are the breadwinners, the market women, people who engage in trading and all of that. What empowerment programs is Oyebanji likely to bring in for people like this? Because, like I said, these women also form part uh, of the public, and oftentimes many of them are the breadwinners of their family.
There has been a lot of
And many of them must have voted for your party as
Oh,
well.
very well.
The
Because
Yalojas,
the
the
Yalajas, women in politics, a lot of women groups. Because in the real sense of it, let me give kudos to the wife of the present governor. She really tried the women mobilization. She has been doing it over time. For the first time in the history of Ekiti State, there is no board of parastatals who have a woman. There are women commissioners, there are women in the House of Reps. Areas that used to be exclusively for men. Women are into it. There were 6 women in the House of Assembly. During my time, 2003, 2007.
that the only woman from F.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that thing has started since 2018, effectively, when Governor Fahimi was making the appointments. Women in the board, Teaching Service Commission, 2 women there, in my own board, a woman there. Good. Look at commissioners, Commissioner for Education, a woman, Commissioner for Women Affairs, a woman, and so on and so forth. And so, that is where the empowerment started. And it gives people hope and courage that if people have been chosen to this position, it can be my turn anytime. That is number one. And so, and Her Excellency had a lot of empowerment programs for people who have learned trades, give out machines, give out for hairdressers, for a lot of them who have acquired one skill or the other. And when we came in 2018, when I assumed chairmanship of the board, I went to her and I said, please, can you buy forms for all these women in politics? People who are just clapping around. They have certificates. It could be useful. Do you know that today, those set of people she bought forms for, they are graduating in July with one skill or the other. She bought, I think, about 200 forms, 240 forms. Okay. Do you know that in Ekiti State today, most of the vice chairmen are women? While as an LCD, Ikara West LCD, the chairman is a woman. Ikere local government, the vice chairman is a woman. And a whole lot of them, they have been exposed. Their political awareness is becoming real. It's becoming very, very strong. And so, down to the grassroots, that we empowerment, we have the small and medium, whatever, enterprise in Ekiti State that gives funds to small
Yeah,
scale,
I was about asking about that. Those who
taking care.
only need grants to
Yeah,
enhance their business.
exactly. And so they get him from time to time, and all he needs to do is probably increase what goes there. Just like Dr. Fayemi increased what was going to the pensioners. When we came in 2018, Fauci was paying 10 million to pensioners to settle them at the end of the month. Dr. Fayemi increased it to 100 million per month. These we didn't need to go and campaign to the pensioners to allow continuity because they can see the thing. Somebody, a party was giving 10 million, another person increased it to 100 million.
But is it regular? Because there was a time I spoke with the chairman of the pensioners union in Ekiti State, and he said the last one they got was I think December last year, and they've not gotten any 100 million this year. I spoke with him.
No, they can't owe them. He can't owe them 6 months. No, it's not possible.
But you can find out. I spoke with the
It
chairman.
is the salaries.
I can even. No, I'm not talking about salary. I'm
No,
talking about
I know. I want to make a
for
statement.
gratuities.
I want to make a statement. No, gratuity is different from pension.
I'm talking about gratuities now. You mentioned pension. I'm talking about
What I'm saying,
gratuities.
pensions are paid
Regularly.
alongside with salaries of regular staff.
Yeah, now, pension is just like a salary. Gratuity is what these retired people use. It's just like a one-off payment that you can use to start off your life after retirement.
Yeah.
So, what would be done? Because that has been an issue, not just with FIRE, even Fauci administration. What should retirees expect from Oyebade? Would they see a situation where these areas of gratuities will be offset?
You know why the pensioners were I love you? They told me, your father because his father retired as a principal of a school. Your father is a pensioner. Before your mother died, she was a pensioner. And so you know where the shoe pinches. He will vote for you or treat us well. And so he will treat them as he will treat his father because they are all in the same bracket. His father is 89 years plus. He'll be 90 next year. And so you can know now when he has retired and he's taking his benefits, And so be sure they will have a good deal by the grace of God under his government.
All right, now, there's something I still like you to talk about. The deputy governor elect.
Wonderful. Good.
A lot has been said about our competence, about our exposure. And you would agree with me that a deputy governor is as good as a governor. If the governor is not around, if anything happens to the governor, the deputy governor automatically steps in. That is what the Constitution says.
Yes.
What can you tell us about Monisade Afuye's exposure? We've had a lot of things about this.
I don't know what you have heard. All I know is
about
that
competence,
she's competent, she's well exposed.
Would you trust her? Forget APC now. Let's not talk about party affiliation. As an Ekiti person who truly loves Ekiti, would you entrust Ekiti into the hands of Monisade Afuye that you have, given the level of competence, the level of exposure?
Why not if not? You have said it. The Constitution says if the governor is not there, the deputy governor steps in to perform the functions of a governor. Right? We have seen examples. General Buhari was out of this country for 102 days, and the vice president effectively performed the functions of the office of Mr. President. Monisade Afuye is also a home-bred politician. She was quite well exposed, well educated, and I don't have a doubt in her ability to be able to perform in the office of Mr. Governor if the governor has cause not to be on seat and the board power to her. I want to be off for 2 weeks. She will perform. You see, all this about governor, all this about deputy governor, all this about leadership is about teamwork. The Yoruba we say,
You're right with teamwork, but there are
no, 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 no,
instances
no, no.
where you have
Let
to
me learn.
the leader to be in front.
Yes, has to give direction, no doubt. But the
Sometimes even
Yoruba,
have to be in front.
the
Let's say,
Yoruba
for
will
instance,
say,
the governor says, "I will not be attending the fact meeting. Let me send my jersey."
yes. The governor, the Yoruba will say, Irolunje for man, and call
I
it
mean,
change
not
your
even fact
Mary.
meeting now. The Council of State,
Yeah,
Council
meeting.
of State, me, let me send my
Yes.
jersey.
Yeah, good. But what I am saying is, it's governance is not about one person. And that is why the Constitution makes it very clear. You must have a cabinet. You must put Ekis together who will work with you, fashion out policies, and and so even when you are taking the lead, if you have very brilliant people as your team, it makes a lot of difference. You will deliver. And so this is not a military regime. Even military governors have commissioners who stay here, do that, do this. And so I want to believe with every sense of seriousness and every sense of being very passionate that Monisade Chief Mrs. Monisade Afuye, who is from Ekiti, who is deputy governor elect, is competent.
Let's talk about, before I ask you about your board, Ekiti State has always had issue with, in 2014, happened in 2018, and then now with voter apathy. If you compare the percent on the day of election, people will tell you, "Oh, people are coming out," and then when voter tallied, Ekiti State has around nine something registered voters, and then when you put all the votes in the last June 18 election together, around 300 something thousand. That's like 30 something percent of the total number registered. What do you think has always been responsible for that in Ekiti State?
It's not in Ekiti State alone. It is a nationwide problem. And
Is it that the people are not politically
yeah,
aware
you
enough?
see, we will get there. We will get there. We will get there. The awareness, the political awareness of people are getting better by the day. And as far as the last election is concerned in Ekiti, people came out, although you said there are 900 and something thousand registered voters.
And then over 700 PVC collected.
Yes, how many of them are residents in Ekiti today? A lot of the young men have left.
Well, I'm asking you that question, Baba.
A lot of the young
If
men
you
have
look at
left.
the 2014 statistics, it was better. In 2018, it got worse. I'm sure if we compare what we recorded on June 8, what they could have recorded on June 18 now, I'm sure 2018 could even be better. So why does it keep going down?
Well, it is still all about awareness. Probably INEC and the political parties have more work
Could
to
it
do.
be that the people are tired of unfulfilled government promises?
No, they are not tired. You see, and that's why you could see the religious organizations can, the Redeemed Christian Church of God and things like that, encouraging their members, go and vote. Don't stay at home and complain. Oh, this governor is not good. Are you part of the people who voted him? In fact, there was a particular Sunday that we were instructed in the Redeemed Christian Church of God as our members to bring their voters card. And they brought, and we encouraged them. We go to the camp, Babadebo, we say, go and exercise your civic right. Go and vote. Be part that vote. I mean, your vote is now counting. Thank God for INEC. The votes are now counting. Go and exercise your civic right. And they will encourage us. If you want to go and take party cards. There is no law that says a Christian cannot participate in politics. Samuel was a prophet of the Most High and a judge in Israel. He was a prophet of the nation and a judge in Israel. David was a prophet and a king over Israel. And so those examples are there. Deborah was a judge in Israel and a prophetess. And so if those ones are there, that is why we have the courage that yes, why not? If not. Because if you leave the terrain for fools, they will make laws that will be binding on you. And you that you think, oh, I am a professor, I am intelligent. If the fools gather and say, you can't get out of your house in the next 1 week, you stay there.
Okay, Honorable Babadi, as the chairman of I read one of your interviews where you said enrollment has improved in technical education in Ekiti State.
Tremendously.
Now, what is the situation now, and how you mentioned some of the ways that the technical schools have helped with them with employment in Ekiti State. Now, what is the situation with enrollment now? And for those who may be listening, who may be interested,
Yeah, thank you very much.
What are the processes? What are the requirements?
Yeah, thank you very much. The requirement for entry into government technical colleges in Ekiti and even nationwide is GS3 because it's a nationwide matter. Monitored by the National Board for Technical Education. And so it's a first standard for all technical colleges. GS3 certificate is the entry qualification because we want a little matured people who will not put their hand into a machine. A 9-year-old or 10-year-old that goes into a secondary school cannot come into a technical college because by the time you are in first term of year 2, you start going to the workshops to work. And so GS3, that is number one. In Ekiti State, tuition is free.
Oh, I was about asking that.
Yeah, tuition is free.
Okay.
And I will mention states, I will mention names. There are some states that I know pay 28,000 per term in technical colleges. But in Ekiti, tuition is free. All you have to buy is your lab coat.
And the schools are residential?
No,
are they all residential?
They are not all residential. And if we encourage them to get houses close to, since the secondary schools are not running boarding house, we are not equally running boarding house. But few of our schools that have spaces, the principal we arrange with the Parents Teachers Association, and then the students are there. Now when we came in, we met 240 schools. 240 students.
Altogether
in all the 5 schools. And
can we do it quickly?
Okay.
We have a few seconds to go.
Okay,
in 20 seconds, can you do that?
I can do
it.
Yeah, and so over and over, we started making contacts. We started encouraging the youth, talking to them at various fora, and they started coming on. And then with the support of the government, encouraging us. The population, the student enrollment today now is over 2,660. And by the time we go into October, we'll go over 3,000 because we have started the admission process. The local government participated, they partner with us. At the point, the House of Assembly partner with us. They will take our forms, buy from us, take to their constituencies, go and talk to their constituents, the parents and the youths, and they are responding. And so this is how the strategies were used. And now that 3 schools will be upgraded, I'm too sure there will be population explosion.
Right, thank you. Honorable Kadi Babadi, Chairman, Board for Technical and Vocational Studies, Vocational Education in Ekiti State, and a former majority leader of Ekiti State House of Assembly between 2003 and 2006. Thank you very much.
2007.
2007, yes. You went back after the 3 day because you were SSG for those 3 days. For the 3 days. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. My name is Dwayne Danes, and this is where we'll call it a day. Today's edition of Conversation with Other